volunteers in central Italy complete a year-end distribution for communities suffering after the earthquakes earlier this year. And TIMA doctors in Northern Taiwan carry out a free clinic for elderly residents in the popular tourist town of Pingxi. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Duncan DeAeth. Thank you for joining us. After a year-end ceremony in Finale Emilia, Tzu volunteers traveled to San Benedetto in central Italy for a two-day distribution. In the morning, Tzu volunteers went to a bank to withdraw the checks that would be given to victims. However, there was disagreement on how the distribution should be carried out. Let's see how Tzu volunteers used wisdom to solve the problem and successfully complete the distribution.
Because we experienced an earthquake 4 years ago, we understand the need for emergency relief. So it is our honor to help you carry out this charity work. We are able to print out those cash checks with Tzu logo on them very quickly. We hope this will help you with the distribution this time.
With help from the bank manager, Tzu volunteers were able to complete their tasks before the distribution. 38 Tzu volunteers from 9 European countries will conduct the distribution.
Because of the earthquake, my brother and one of my grandsons died. The other grandson is still in the hospital.
I still want to return to my home, so I went to the town hall to register for a cabin. I hope I can return to my own home in the summer next year.
The earthquake destroyed many people's homes, but they still want to return to their own houses. Besides the locals and Tzu volunteers, Taiwan's ambassadors to Italy and the Vatican are also at the distribution.
I formed a bond with Tzu a long time ago. The master told me what Tzu does around the world always keeps Taiwan in its heart. Whether these countries have formal diplomatic ties with Taiwan or not, we send them love through Tzu so we can spread our work to these places.
Besides requiring experience, Tzu volunteers also need patience and zeal to conduct Tzu work in countries without diplomatic ties.
They felt we were foreigners. Why should we carry out these rituals? Why didn't we just give them money so they could do the work for us?
When Tzu volunteers went to survey disasters in Italy in August this year, they had to overcome cultural differences.
Then we kept explaining to them that we Tzu didn't do the work this way. We wanted to give these items directly to victims with gratitude, respect, and love.
When Tzu volunteers give blankets and cash checks to victims and then hug and bless them, it moves many people to tears.
There aren't many Tzu volunteers in Italy, so when a major disaster happened in Italy, we didn't know what to do. This is our first time to do this. Maybe we didn't get 60%, but at least 59% right for what we did.
Tzu volunteers from all over Europe come together to pass disaster relief experiences and help victims in Italy. There might be other problems waiting for the volunteers to solve tomorrow.
Tzu has been holding winter distributions in China for many years. Recently, a very special distribution was held targeting 3,000 sanitation workers in Shenzhen. Volunteers presented them with rice, cooking oil, and other necessities to keep them fed and healthy in the new year.
Shenzhen is a city with a population of 20 million people. The economic prosperity of the area also means the city has to rely upon 150,000 sanitation workers to maintain the city's clean living environment.
Happy Lunar New Year, wishing you and your family a happy and auspicious time.
On December 17th, Tzu volunteers cooperated with local Taiwanese businessmen to organize a distribution of goods for 3,000 sanitation workers at the Tzu Shenzhen Pingxi office and Shenzhen City Waste Processing Plant. At the two areas, some 3,000 people received the relief supplies.
This is a small scarf, but it will really keep you warm. You go out in the morning and at night. It will keep you warm and prevent your body from catching a cold.
In addition to scarves, volunteers also prepared rice, cooking oil, and other health supplies.
You give so many things. I'm so happy today. I've had a great year.
This charity gives useful items to everyone, so they are quite happy and moved. From today forward, we know that we are caring for our sanitation workers, and they'll do a better job keeping our city clean.
Encouraging sanitation workers as well as giving them a blessing will help them during this difficult holiday season, which can be quite cold and lonely.
Instead of organizing a winter aid distribution as a single large-scale event, Tzu Chi volunteers in China recently hosted several small-scale aid distributions at 9 different community institutions in Fujian Province's Xiamen in order to provide more convenient access to residents who suffer from mobility issues. Let's take a look.
请捐赠。感恩你们，感恩。
This year, the Tzu Chi Foundation spent 2 consecutive days hosting winter aid distributions at 9 different community institutions in Fujian Province's Xiamen, with a total of 1,812 impoverished residents from 971 families receiving daily supplies.
好用，很好用。
They are useful and helpful, especially the rice and vegetable oil. The things we need the most are rice, vegetable oil, and blankets. Since the winter season has come, the blankets can keep us warm. We feel grateful. Thank you.
The blue and white of the Tzu Chi uniforms have become like beautiful scenery in our community.
Every year at this time, volunteers and their old friends gather and share everything with one another.
那边叫正菜，你知无？你唔知？我唔捌出门
这护士医生真好，加班加点做啦。嘿嘿嘿，迄中医你若真好啦，你嘛真好，你来我今日有这个方来食，真好。
Every act and expression of the local residents have been kept in the hearts of every Tzu Chi volunteer because they reflect the quality of the aid distribution.
我自己不足的地方。
Through this event, I have an opportunity to learn and make up for my weaknesses. I will understand more after attending this aid distribution.
For impoverished residents who have mobility issues, volunteers send love to their homes in person.
This foundation and these volunteers always show concern and care for me. I feel thankful.
Despite the distance, Tzu Chi volunteers make their way to deliver love and care to the needy, warming up their hearts in these wintry days.
Some athletes who have been caught doping blame the problem on Chinese medicine. However, practitioners of this medicine emphatically say that this shouldn't be used as an excuse. If doctors know their patients are athletes and have doubts about passing drug tests, they should switch to acupuncture and cupping treatment. Recently, international anti-doping organizations have stepped up efforts to catch doping by launching the Athlete's Biological Passport, which records any blood changes and abnormalities of the athletes over a long period of time.
These athletes are all clad in uniforms as they let out a powerful cry as Taekwondo is a popular sport in Asia. It stresses etiquette and in Taiwan has been popular for many years.
Taekwondo competition for adults is generally divided into 8 different weight classes. Junior high and high school competition is divided into 10 weight classes. These weight groups are based on competitors' weight prior to competing.
In addition to the physical fitness required in sports, competition is also part of the sport, as Taekwondo has become the focus of Taiwan's Olympic medal aspirations. Weight categories go from the lightest fin, which is below 54 kilograms, all the way to 84 kilograms and above, which is heavyweight. At each weight category, competitors have a certain level of power and force, requiring competitors to be separated by weight.
If we get a little too heavy for our weight class, we'll watch what we eat and avoid other drinks aside from water and do more exercise. If we still don't drop the weight, we'll wear a coat or raincoat to make us sweat more.
Weight control is a very important part of the athletic competition, with diet management and training regimens the proper method. Sometimes athletes will turn to illegal diuretics to quicken weight loss and even blame Chinese medicine as a culprit when caught. However, Chinese medicine practitioners don't deny that many herbal medicines contain a lot of diuretic ingredients, but they say taking the wrong medicine is often the scapegoat.
In fact, diuretics do not increase physical fitness. So then what is the effect of diuretics? It could be associated with doping, because when you consume diuretics, it will help you expel things from your system. The more popular ones are Wolfiporia extensa, and also bitter vine is also known to be a diuretic in traditional Chinese medicine.
In Chinese herbal medicine, ginseng and astragalus all help benefit the body's qi or life force, but they aren't prohibited in sports. Still, doctors are careful when prescribing them.
In the future, I think there will be more drugs on this doping list. Many times when athletes don't understand what's banned and what's not, they often choose acupuncture or cupping as treatment.
It's easy to call for fairness in sports, but difficult to execute, as the International Association of Athletics Federations in 1928 the first announced the beginning of drug testing. In 1966, FIFA and the International Cycling Association joined these ranks, and the 1967 Olympic Games ushered in an era of drug testing. In 1968, the 19th Mexico City Olympic Games, the Swedish pentathlete Hans-Gunnar Liljenwall's urine tested positive for excessive alcohol, which led his team to be stripped of a bronze medal. The first overturned gold medal for doping was in the 1972 Munich Olympic swimming competition, when United States competitor Rick DeMont was found to have used ephedrine. Although he claimed it was for medical use, his appeal was still ruled invalid. Some people describe the sports doping system as a cat-and-mouse game, where the mouse is always ahead of the game. By 1999, a major change occurred with the establishment of the World Anti-Doping Agency in Lausanne, Switzerland, by developing unified testing standards. By the end of 2009, a new policy, Athlete Biological Passport, began with the organization seeking to track long-term changes in an athlete's blood. A second version of the program was launched in 2014 with closer scrutiny for steroids, with remarkable results.
Regarding the blood sampling, you can see the number of red blood cells and hemoglobin levels and observe if there is any change during a competition or during training. If these levels move higher, they can detect changes in these values and better understand if this is a normal situation or not.
WADA has zero tolerance for doping, and from the latest data we can see more samples are being taken, with 2014 seeing 283,304 cases, and in 2015 the number exceeded 300,000 for growth of 7.1%. Players who engage in athletic doping not only cast a shadow over themselves and their health, but also bring shame to their country. To the left, we see the National Sports Training Center, which is responsible for food and nutritional supplements given to the nation's athletes. Unfortunately, the sensitivity of drug testing measures leads the relevant authorities to decline an interview. While we joke that winning is done for the greater good of the country, Taiwan still needs to improve governance and reform to ensure our athletes are taking the right attitude towards competition.
Pingxi village in Taiwan is most well known for its famous Lantern Festival and its attraction as a quaint traditional village. However, because of the economy's reliance on tourism, many young people have left for nearby Taipei, and many seniors have been left on their own. That's why Tzu makes regular trips to visit the area and check on the residents. They recently held a small clinic in Pingxi. Let's see how TIMA's visit went. Some TIMA members had just arrived in Pingxi when they unexpectedly witnessed a traffic accident. The doctors took care of the victims as they waited for an ambulance to arrive. Before the day of the clinic, volunteers make house visits to promote the event. Here, they meet a 90-year-old grandfather who sits in a wheelchair and relies on a nasogastric tube.
We've been caring for him for about the past 13 or 14 years. He started to collect fluid in his brain. He had some constricted blood vessels, so we have to do our best to care for him. After all, he cared for us before, so it's only fair that we return the favor now. I mean, I change his diapers now since he changed mine in the past.
Upon seeing the team of volunteers, the 86-year-old grandmother is delighted and stands up to greet them with a hug. After so many years of receiving their care, care, this grandmother has developed a trust and a similar outlook on life with the TIMA staff. The clinic is carried out at the local Mazu temple and offers Chinese medicine alongside Western medicine. A 98-year-old senior, Lin Yutang, lives nearby and came to seek some treatment for lower back pain. While Pingxi will remain a popular site for tourism in Taiwan, many elderly residents who grew up during the boom of the mining years are also living here, and they need medical assistance from time to time. That's why Tzu will continue to offer medical clinics like this one, making sure everyone gets the care they need. As winter is coming to Taiwan, TIMA's Eastern Taiwan chapter recently traveled to Nanfangao in Yilan County to hold a free clinic for foreign fishermen who work there. They also brought with them 2 months of winter clothes, allowing these foreign fishermen to better enjoy the cold winter.
We have doctors here if someone needs massages or any ointment, and if they can make it at 9 o'clock, they can go first.
TIMA Eastern Taiwan chapter holds a free clinic in Nanfangao twice a year to look after the health of these foreign fishermen.
These foreign fishermen also work hard. Although there are some language barriers and they're not the same race as me, I'm very glad to help them.
As these fishermen cannot easily see a doctor, TIMA provides internal medicine, dentistry, dermatology, and Chinese massage for them. The fishermen also come to see doctors, as it's a rare chance for them to look after their health.
How many times you come already? No time. So every time, what do you do when you come? Dentist?
Because Yilan County is on the northeastern corner of Taiwan, it is very cold in winter. The volunteers have been collecting a lot of winter clothing for 2 months.
We hope to give them warm clothes so the clothes can keep them warm. When they dress warmly, they won't catch colds easily because it isn't easy for them to come to shore to see a doctor or to buy things.
Yilan has a lot of rain, so it's very cold in winter. Tzu Foundation has collected a lot of winter clothing for everyone to keep all you warm in winter.
Despite the language barrier, the fishermen can still sense the volunteers' passion. Before the fishermen return to work, they acquire coin banks because they want to give love too.
As the year comes to a close, Tzu volunteers around Taiwan have been holding many events. Tzu volunteers in Hsinchu, Taiwan have been planning several activities for the Ethical Eating Day coming up on January 11th next year. Volunteers are inviting everyone in the community and will offer vegetarian food and other items to participants. And in Penghu, many people recently came to visit the Jingsi Hall, where they learned to turn plastic bottles into toys. There were also other events that emphasized the importance of environmental awareness.
Children bring their coin bags to the Jingsi Hall, where the annual year-end ceremony is being held.
Tzu people treat us like family members. This can influence others and make them treat other people with the same good attitude.
Many residents come to learn about vegetarianism. They also learn about how to turn plastic bottles into toys.
I saw many plastic bottles at the beach contaminating our ocean, so I feel I can turn them into useful things and they won't pollute our ocean.
During the year-end ceremony, volunteers give a performance of Chuchua of innumerable meanings and show a video of 2016 year in review. 85-year-old Grandma Xu comes to the ceremony every year and always looks forward to receiving the red envelope of blessing and wisdom from Tzu.
You made the red envelopes with diligence and gave them to us, so we are happy to receive them and to gain merit.
A year-end ceremony in Hsinchu emphasized vegetarianism. Volunteers and Tzu invite people to take part in being vegetarian.
We're promoting the Ethical Eating Day on January 11th. When our sisters heard it, they said they could make things to contribute. All these things will be handmade, which will be good for our health.
因为我们慈济的优势是我们年轻，然后对于3C 产品的部分。
One perk of being a Zijing is we are young and we know how to use electronic products very well. So we can type out documents for volunteers very quickly, and we will be promoting this event with them.
For the festive holiday, Tzu volunteers and the community gather together to promote vegetarianism and to gather love for the world.
At the year-end blessing ceremony in Taidong, many typhoon victims who were greatly affected by Typhoon Nepartak in July attended the event and prayed for blessings for the next year. A singer, Hu Daming, who was also on site to perform a song of blessing for everyone. Let's check out the event.
The singer Hu Daiming is attending Tzu Ji's year-end blessing ceremony in Taidong for the first time, where he performs many blessing songs. Though he is a Christian, the solemn ceremony allows him to feel the power of love.
We start everything with love. For example, if we live in unity and harmony, we'll make everything full of love. As a Christian, all we talk about is love. We also talk about love at school. I think only with love can we tolerate everything.
Tzu Ji volunteers have long accompanied and assisted the typhoon victims in Taidong who were greatly affected by Typhoon Nepartak in July. A resident came here from Dawu Township, especially to pray for blessings.
Tzu Ji cares much for us. I mean, all of the residents here. I feel moved by this.
Tzu Ji's Project Hope of Disaster Risk Reduction has assisted 9 schools in Taidong in rebuilding classrooms, which allows students to have a safe learning environment. On this occasion, volunteers also distribute red envelopes of blessing and wisdom to each student, hoping to increase their wisdom for the coming year.
These should be implemented on campus to let the children understand that we are living in an environment where many people, including life and the planet, need our care. I think this is a very good education.
As the end of the year 2016 is approaching, the blessing ceremony can not only provide everyone a chance to reflect on their past year, but can also purify everyone's soul and brighten the love in their heart.
Tzu Ji U.S. headquarters are helping provide fresh fruits and vegetables for disadvantaged students at Juanita Blakely Jones Primary School in San Bernardino, California. Many poor families are worried about keeping their children fed over winter break when school is out, but thankfully, Tzu Ji is there to ease their fears. That's all the time we have for today. We'll leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.